You know, in the world of Inception, there's a place that's deeper and more dangerous than any dream. It's a shared subconscious that plays by its own terrifying rules. Today, we're going to try and map that infinite, dangerous void known as limbo.
And the film itself gives us this just chilling description. See, this isn't just another dream level, neatly built by an architect. Nope. This is something else entirely. It's a fundamental, almost primordial state of mind. So, to really get our heads around this whole mystery, here's what we're going to do. We'll break down what limbo actually is, the different ways you can fall into it, why time is its single greatest danger, what you might find down there, and finally, how and if you can ever get out. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so first things first, we absolutely have to understand the core difference between a normal, constructed dream and this unformed void of limbo. They're like apples and oranges, just completely different beasts. So you remember the rainy city, right? Or that cool spinning hotel lobby? Ariadne designed those piece by piece. But Limbo, totally different. It's a blank slate. It's this shared, empty stage where the subconscious of anyone who gets trapped there can just run wild, building things directly from their own memories, their fears, and especially their guilt. Now this is where it gets super interesting, especially if you're a bit of a tech nerd. Think of it like this. A normal dream is like a video game hosted on one person's computer, a client-server network. One person is the host. But Limbo, that's more like a peer-to-peer network. Everyone's connected to the same space, all at once. And anything that gets built there can just get left behind, like a ruin, for the next poor soul who falls in. So, the big question is, how do you even end up in this place? Well, it's not like you just decide to take a trip there for the weekend. No, you end up in limbo when things go catastrophically wrong. Turns out, there are basically 3 ways in. 1, you go on purpose, which is exactly what Cobb and Ariadne do to go get Fisher. 2, you push the dream architecture too hard and the whole thing just collapses on itself into this raw subconscious state. But the third one, that's the real kicker for the whole movie. It's what happens when you die while you're under that super powerful sedative. Instead of waking you up, death just pushes you all the way down to the bottom. It traps you. And this is where limbo stops being just a weird concept and becomes absolutely terrifying. Because the biggest danger down there isn't some monster or some projection from your mind. It's time, the crushing, endless weight of time itself. You see, the team uses this special sedative from Yusuf, right? It's the key to their whole plan. It lets them speed up dream time so they can pull off this crazy multi-level heist during a single 10-hour flight. But here's the catch. That effect stacks up. It compounds exponentially. So on level 1, in that rainy city, the 10-hour flight already feels like a week. Okay, that's manageable. But then you go 1 level deeper into the hotel, and that week multiplies and becomes roughly 6 months. The scale is already getting insane. Down in the snow fortress, where they need to do the actual Inception, they're working with a timeline of about 10 years. A full decade goes by, while just a few hours are ticking away on the plane. And then you get to Limbo. The math just explodes. That same 10-hour flight translates to nearly 2 centuries of subjective time. This is how Cobb and Mal could build a whole city, live a life, and grow old together for 50 years, all while they were just asleep for a single night. And this crazy time dilation, it's the exact reason why Saito is an old man when Cobb finally finds him. Remember, Saito gets shot and dies way earlier in the mission, so that time gap, which was maybe just a few minutes in the level above, became decades for him down in Limbo. Decades of being all alone. Okay, so if Limbo is supposed to be unconstructed, you'd think it would just be nothing, right? An empty black void. But it's not. Not at all. It's more like a psychological graveyard, filled with the leftovers and the emotional residue of anyone who's ever been trapped there. So when Cobb and Ariadne wash up on that beach, they're literally walking through the ruins of the city that he and Mal built. But it's not just old, it's actively crumbling. Why? Because it's literally made out of Cobb's guilt. Every broken building, every flooded street is a piece of his regret. And then you see Saito's fortress. It's this stark, isolated, but perfect castle. That's what decades of honor and patience looks like. Limbo isn't just a place, you see, it's a psychological fingerprint left behind. So, you're trapped. A lifetime has passed. The world around you is literally made of your own thoughts. The question is, how in the world do you get out? Well, the movie actually shows us two completely different ways to escape this prison of the mind.
First up, there's the technical escape. This is the one they use for Fisher, and it's all about perfect timing. It needs a synchronized kick. You've got Ariadne pushing him off a building in Limbo to create that falling feeling, and at the exact same time, Eames zaps him with a defibrillator a level up. Those two jolts together act like a bolt of lightning that shoots his consciousness right back up through the layers.
But what about Cobb and Saito? They missed the ride. They missed the synchronized kicks. For them, there's no fancy technical escape hatch. They have to play the long game. Their only option is to literally wait until the sedative physically wears off back on the plane.
And once that drug is out of their system, everything changes. The rules of dreaming go back to normal. And what's the number one rule of normal dreaming? If you die, you wake up. That's why Cobb has to find old man Saito and remind him of their pact, their promise, to take a leap of faith. It isn't suicide. It's the only exit they have left. And that escape, well, it leads us to one of the biggest, most argued over endings in all of movie history. After everything he went through, did Cobb actually make it back to reality? Or is he just in one final perfect dream? I mean, you can argue it both ways, right? The kids are older, they're wearing different clothes. That screams reality. But then there's the top, his totem for checking if he's dreaming. It spins and it wobbles, but we never ever see it fall. The debate is endless. But maybe we're all asking the wrong question. Maybe it's not about what's real, but about what feels real.
Even Christopher Nolan himself has said that the real point is what Cobb does in that last moment. I mean, think about it. This man's entire journey has been defined by his desperate need to get home and to constantly check what's real. And then, in that final scene, he gets home. He sees his kids' faces, he gives the top a spin, and he just walks away. He doesn't wait to see if it falls. He doesn't care anymore. He's chosen his reality. And that, right there, is the brilliant, lingering question the film leaves all of us with. It stops being a puzzle box and becomes something much deeper, a question for you. If you finally found your own true happiness, would you risk checking to see if it was real? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.